Rumors are that there is a huge mess behind the scenes regarding Porsha and Simon's recent wedding. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly there is a big mess behind the scenes regarding Porsha and Simon's recent wedding. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly there is a big mess behind the scenes regarding Porsha recent wedding. Rumors are that there have been huge fights behind the scenes regarding the nuptials. One source said, everyone is scratching their heads on how they screwed this up. Apparently, there's a lot of finger pointing and everyone blaming each other, trying to escape blame. Allegedly, everyone is playing coy about this misstep, trying not to seem as if they are incompetent. The source continued, I understand the confusion. However, everyone behind the scenes allegedly did what they felt was the correct thing to do at the time. There were a lot of meetings had before the decision was made, and everyone seemed to be in lockstep with their choice. So, in actuality, no one person really is to blame. So, the question is, what is this misstep that caused alleged major drama around Porsha's wedding? Well, allegedly, the decision not to cover Porsha and Simon's wedding is causing some drama behind the scenes with producers. Another source said, Porsha and Simon's wedding was huge. It was no doubt the biggest wedding in Atlanta since Candy and Todd's wedding. Everyone was there. Everyone was talking about it. So, I can see why some producers are scratching their heads in regret for not giving Porsha a wedding special. Ratings would have been through the roof. The source continued, Porsha managed to pull off her African Queen wedding in spectacular form. Another insider said, I can only speculate that producers may feel a little upset at missing the opportunity to make a big profit off of Porsha's big day. Or at least provide Bravo with a huge ratings hit to replace Candy in the Game's time slot at the beginning of the year. The insider continued, honestly, I can't really fault producers so much, simply because Porsha really didn't provide them with much hope of a huge wedding. With all the false steps and the false goals and stops around Porsha and Simon's wedding, producers seemed like they were trying to take the safe route in order to save face and money. Well, kinfolk, I must say, when this rumor came across my radar, I really wasn't too surprised to hear that allegedly, because all of this is just speculation at this point and alleged information, that producers were scratching their heads at thinking about how Porsha's wedding probably was a big misstep for them for not covering it. And I said that simply because of all of the major press that Porsha got. I mean, the week before, the week up, and even the week after. But however, I will say this, Porsha did do something that caught a lot of us off guard, and I can only imagine that it caught producers off guard as well, and it's this. Porsha, at the end of the day, she did manage to pull off a wedding that was bigger than a lot of people thought. If you have been paying attention to the blogs and the different rumors about all of the drama that was going on behind Porsha and Simon's wedding, you probably are surprised as well that it turned out to be such a huge success that it was. And so for us as fans, of the Real Housewives universe, and seeing all this play out the days before, the day of, and the days after, you can pretty much say that we, if you're honest, were kind of shocked as well that Porsha managed to pull off this very extravagant wedding. One that did not seem, at least from the outside looking in, that was done at the last minute, as a lot of people have been speculating and as a lot of rumors had been saying. And so with that being said, the fact that it caught us off guard, or at least it did catch me off guard, I can only imagine that producers, it probably caught them off guard as well. That probably could have led them to feel like, you know what, I think we may have dropped the ball. We probably should have given Porsha at least a 3 or 4 episode special around her wedding, because at the end of the day, she did manage to pull it off. It was a huge success. All of the guests were big names in terms of the Real Housewives universe, and it would have provided some amazing content. Now, with that being said, there is a other side of the coin that does not really speak so confident in Porsha's ability to have pulled off this big wedding, and that is this. Porsha and Simon, from what my sources are telling me, just really didn't have any concrete wedding plans leaving out of the summer, which sources say were the alleged reasons why a spinoff was taken off the table. A lot of people feel like a spinoff or a wedding special was taken off the table because of Porsha's behavior in the past. And my sources are saying that if you are to believe those rumors, that can be a part of the issue. But to them, it seemed more so of the issue that Porsha and Simon did not have any real concrete wedding plans for a production team to really just bank or invest so much time and money into covering. And when I heard that part of the rumor, I could kind of see how that could be factual, simply because when they canceled the wedding the first time at the end of the summer, one had to think, if you are planning this huge over-the-top wedding that's going to be really probably over the course of 2 weeks, that means that you have to have been doing a lot of planning in the spring and really a lot of planning in the summer. So for you just to up and cancel your wedding within maybe a month of its date, it kind of leaves a lot to the imagination that, you know, you probably were not in a position to have a big wedding, or you probably weren't really planning a big wedding. You may have just been, you know, allegedly blowing smoke in our face to think that you're having this big grand wedding in order for us to sign on to you get your wedding special. And then once we signed you on, then you could run and get everything together. Now, that's kind of a safe bet if you are looking at it from Porscha's standpoint. But however, from a production standpoint, you want to see some concrete evidence that this big extravagant wedding is happening so that we won't lose any money. Now, I will say this, to Porsha and Simon's defense, they did manage to pull this off. Porsha and Simon's wedding was the perfect filming environment for the Real Housewives universe. There were a lot of crossover franchises from, I think, the Real Housewives of Miami to the Real Housewives of Potomac. I definitely want to say, I think, the Real Housewives of OC, if I'm not mistaken. And then also Love and Marriage DC with Monique, which was a double crossover, Potomac and Love and Marriage. And I'm sure there were some other celebrities there as well who have crossover appeal in the Real Housewives universe. So Simon and Porsha did manage to pull off a very star-studded event if you're looking at it in terms of the Real Housewives universe. And if you look at the guest list, it's probably the second most celebrity-filled wedding that we have seen in the Bravo universe since Candy's. Nene's wedding was celebrity filled. Candice was, I think, a little bit more genuinely celebrity wedding filled because of her time in the industry. But when you look at Porsha and you look at the formula that Teresa provided for her wedding, Porsha's wedding seemed like it was an equal perfect environment, just like Teresa's, to get a lot of footage in for a wedding special. So that part they did pull off. And I think the issue is that Porsha and Simon were going to probably always pull this off, but they just went about the wrong way. this is something they probably should have been pitching to the network in the spring very hard, simply because of the way that Porsha ended her own spinoff with the network and how big of a disaster that was. So you would think they would have the self-awareness to know that if a wedding special is what they really want to pull off, then they probably should have pitched it the way that it turned out, instead of doing it kind of like vicariously, or just doing it by the seat of their pants, and then just, basically banking on Porsha's name and face and brand to do all the heavy lifting. Now, kinfolk, it is one last part of this rumor that I can see as being somewhat factual. I think a lot of people may not agree with, but I think I can see this part as being somewhat factual, and it's this. My sources are telling me that behind the scenes, allegedly, there really wasn't like this big discussion or big fight as to like, oh, we should have covered Porsha's wedding, or we should have did this for Porsha's wedding special. We should have given her this. We should have given her that. It's more so what I've been told, just a discussion and like side conversation, like that probably would have been a good wedding to, give a special to. A lot of great filming opportunities. But again, it also speaks back to the fact that how Porsha's brand was just so damaged with the network that it just really wasn't worth, or at least we can just speculate that it seems as if it just really wasn't worth putting all of that time and effort into filming her wedding. So I think people may feel like, and this is my own speculation behind the scenes, that we could have filmed it. Yeah, it really got some great footage, but would it have been worth the time? Would it have been worth the extra work and the extra drama that we know historically has come along with Porsha and Simon's brand? But with that being said, I do see one thing moving forward that a lot of people probably don't agree with, and is that Porsha and Simon seem to have a lot of leverage moving into the top of the year. I know yesterday I told you guys about how allegedly there's a big announcement coming from Porsha's camp in the coming weeks or coming months, and I think that announcement is going to continue to push her and Simon's brand as a couple forward, so that she can have even more leverage going into the new year. And so with that being said, that really benefits her and Simon in this way. People really think that Porsha is trying to get back into the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. I'm still on the fence with that. If you would have asked me this back in the summer, early fall, I'd been like, yes, she's trying to get back. But right now, I think she is really pretty much trying her best to resuscitate her brand and to rebrand her image as a married woman now. And then once she gets it back on solid ground, I definitely could see her making a huge play to get back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. It just seems like everything is there and working in motion. And if behind the scenes we have some information that, or if behind the scenes the mood really is we're done with Porsha, I do think that her and Simon keeping their brand up and keeping the momentum up from their wedding does put them in a great bargaining spot to go to a potential love and marriage Atlanta franchise, or to do something in the reality TV show world. So a lot of people may not agree with this, but I definitely do feel like Simon and Porsha are leaving out of their wedding and leaving out this year with a lot of leverage and a lot of win at their sales that could finally be finally provide the big brand image makeover that they both so desperately need. Now, I will admit, I've been reading some of the comments from yesterday's video, and I've been reading some comments on social media about Porsha and Simon, their marriage, and it just does seem as if the narrative is we are not here for a Porsha and Simon reboot from fans across the board. Porsha's hardcore fans are definitely there in support of her, but overall, I think fans are still, or at least they appear to still be, not team Porsha and Simon. And that's something we just have to just continue to watch and see how it unravels over time. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. If you are to believe these rumors, and right now it's all alleged information and speculation, but if you are to believe them, do you think that Bravo and producers made a big mistake by not covering Porsha's wedding? Or do you think they made the right choice and not cover Porsha's wedding because of the way her spinoff was such a big disaster? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.